Alright, hello everyone. So, if you've seen my last video, you'd probably know that I mentioned that Smash Hit Deep Space is stolen trash. So I'm here now to prove it. I don't know how many of you have seen my last video. I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about, because some of you might, but some of you might not. And for those who might not, or for those who want concrete proof, this is the video for that. I'm essentially just going to be comparing Frostbite to Deep Space, and I'm going to show you which parts are plagiarized and which aren't. Well, in a way, I guess, because I'm going to skip past the non-plagiarized parts. That would be the checkpoint 2s. So I'm going to just begin, because I have a 15-minute limit, and I'm already at 60 seconds, so I better get started. By the way, this is 2021 Gamer, and this is Samyar Asad Fartakoli. These are their videos on their gameplays. So these are the segments for the first room of Frostbite. And since I kind of don't want to go through every single room individually, as that would take like over 15 minutes, considering the videos are much longer than that, I'm going to just go kind of skim through the rooms and show you what I'm talking about so you can get a glimpse of it while still having concrete evidence. And then this is what Deep Space looks like. Already the same similar panes, the same crystals, that bar, the same short panes to go vertically. Like the layout actually looks familiar to another mod, but I'm not going to go into that. This first room. So this is the segments for room 1 of checkpoint 1 of Frostbite. I want you to pay attention to when I scroll, because it shows that little rectangle thing. So just look at the segments that are in room 1. Just gonna go here. You have the DNA strand and those crystals and those two sliding panes of that crystal and another bar. I'm just gonna let this room finish, and then it'll go to room 3. And then after I skim through room 3, I'm gonna show you what it looks like in Deep Space. It's just those crystals, those bars, and those bars, the horizontal ones. So now let's go to Deep Space and see what it's done for its checkpoints. So, already very familiar. That crystal segment was taken. Those two crystals, I guess. That slab thing was also taken. Gavin did make a few differences with this one, but not enough where I can consider it unique, because it looks awfully familiar. Since this is 2 parts long, I'm just going to skip 30 seconds to the end of it. He clearly took the segments here. This is much more clear, because if you've paid attention to the Frostbite one, then you'll know that these segments are pretty much the same as the Frostbite ones. He just copy-pasted them and themed it to checkpoint 10. There was no real effort involved, which is disappointing and very wrong, because Frostbite took almost 2 years to create. So I've shown the third room, right? Yeah, I've shown it. Just wanted to go make sure, give a tiny refresh. And then this is Deep Space, which has the same bars as earlier, the same layout as earlier, the same crystals, that same square hanging from a string, those same, I don't know if those bars, yeah, not bars, those panes were in the other one, but he just made them longer. Those panes were in Frostbite, but he just like elongated them to make it look different, but these segments are almost exactly identical. Now that we've gotten past checkpoint 1, I'm going to skip through the checkpoint 2s because those aren't identical at all. So yeah, so I'm going to go to right about here. Now checkpoint 3 is going to be a bit harder to recognize because like the layouts are different, but like the segments are not. So these are the segments of checkpoint 3 zone 1 of Smash Hit Frostbite. Alright, and then here. Square on strings, those same bars, those same crossed bars, those same crystals, that same pop-up glass pane, just that he changed the theming or whatever to this forest thing. Same bars. Now room 2 is going to be easier to spot. Oh, oops. Okay. So this is checkpoint 3 zone 2 of Smash Hit Frostbite. Just these squares and strings, a laser segment, and these bars. And then Deep Space is second room. Same music track, same laser, same bars, and same crystals. Like, he just changed the colors. The segments that originate from Frostbite are present here. He didn't even bother. He just said a new era of Frostbite or something in his description, and he just stole all this stuff. Alright, and then this is gonna be the third room of Smash Hit Frostbite, checkpoint 3. The lasers, that DNA strand and those bars, DNA strand. You see, these are basically all the segments that are present. There's a bit of lag, so I'm gonna move to this Deep Space. And so I'm at 8 minutes out of 15, I'm gonna start hurrying. So you can clearly see the room is slightly slower. Lasers, DNA strand, those panes. Like, Gavin literally just copy-pasted the whole room. He just made a few tiny edits to the obstacle type and the color, probably to make it look unique when it's clearly not. And then, by the way, in Frostbite, those diamonds are present. Okay, so this is the fourth room, which I'm just gonna hurry through to see those segments. Again, this room is actually pretty simple. And since I'm a bit lazy and I only have like 6 minutes left before I hit the limit, Gavin just added a bunch of trees. Same diamond. Those sliding panes are definitely in Frostbite. The positioning of the diamonds is a bit different, but I can tell he did kind of copy the final room. And this is where the plagiarism becomes very obvious in checkpoint 4. Just take a look at the segments here. And then take a look here. It's really obvious. That obstacle. Then those propellers are clearly taken. Then those falling obstacles are as well. It's pretty obvious what he did here. He just made tiny changes, that's it. Now the second rooms are kind of different, so I won't really pay much attention to those. Even though there are some copied parts, I gotta hurry. So, take a quick look at this. And then just... Oh, so this is the fourth... sorry. So this is the third room of checkpoint 4 of Frostbite. You can clearly see what the segments are here. And then go to deep space. He just increased the speed, it's literally it. The room is exactly the same. Now checkpoint 5 is where things start to get subtle again, but yeah, I gotta hurry up. I'm almost at the limit. So yeah. I only have like 2 and something minutes. So what I'm gonna do is just do this. Look at that segment, the pendant. There's also a belt segment. And then take a look at Deep Space's checkpoint 5, Riverview. That's its internal name. That same pendant. That belt, which was in Frostbite, we just didn't see it. And those 2 swinging ones. He just added those glass cannons himself. Alright, so this is the second room. Thing is, I don't know if this was stolen, so I'm just gonna go see it if it was. Stop doing that! Not necessarily, but definitely similar. So I'm just gonna skip through this. Oh, that crystal was definitely taken, though. And then the crankshaft. So this is the third room. It's just sliding panes in the bar. And let's see what Gavin has created. So essentially he did make it different, but he also stole as normal, I guess. And this is the final room of checkpoint 5. So, because of the 15-minute limit, I'm gonna come back to this and do a part 2, or rather part 3 actually, because like the first video I made would be considered part 1. And I'll give a final look with checkpoint 6, zone 1. And then deep space is this. The music track, the segments, all the same. Because of the 15-minute limit, I'm going to cut it after checkpoint 6 zone 1 of Frostbite. You can clearly see how awfully similar these segments are. So we're going to go into... Yep, even the achievements even took that element. If you paid attention to the Inferno, which is what checkpoint 6's internal name is in Frostbite, you know very well what these segments were blatantly copied.